after success for the All-Stars against Liga MX.
Pepi scores! The MLS All-Stars win it!
League action and rivalry week resumed. It was Derby Day in Cascadia, Canada, Florida, Ohio, and Texas. But it's in LA with El Trafico where we begin our roundup.
"12 miles.
LAFC! This is our city. We own it. Carson, not LA.
Yet 12 points apart.
LAFC, nothing. We're here first.
LAFC have some catching up to do in their pursuit of the Galaxy.
LAFC, the best, number one. Let's go.
Rossi!
Oh my God, he number one!
Rebellis and scores!
LAFC!
We'll see you downtown LA.
Commentary comes from Stuart Robson and Dan Roebuck.
Rebellis for Araujo. Cabral is making a move. Joveljic over the keeper and into the net. A poacher's strike inside the penalty area. Joveljic with his first goal for the LA Galaxy.
There's the ball played into the box, and it's poor defending from Murillo. Tries to almost near away or control it, makes a real mess of it. He was alive, and it's a good finish as well.
Blessing going the wrong direction at the moment. Alters that though. Palacios, 3-2 in and around the area. Oh, now then, Arango was claiming that he was pulled down here.
The referee has decided to give a penalty here. There's Palacios with the ball. Was there a little tug of the shirt from Hämäläinen?
Arango's going to step up and take this. Up against Bonds, he's yet to save his spot kick in Major League Soccer. Well, Arango thumps it to the right-hand side. Bond goes the other way. And LAFC are level at one apiece. Vasquez to come forward for the Galaxy. He's been allowed to come a long way. 3 waiting in white. Cabral is one of them! Romero with a save.
That is a great save from Romero. He had to move his feet. It's a good dive in and a strong left hand as well.
Cifuentes sticks to his task and manages to win it back. Still Cifuentes. This is Rossi. Still Diego Rossi! Terrific stop. Still not away. Arango leaves it. Now it's with Rodriguez. 3 Galaxy players managed to clear. Joveljic will give it back to the hosts. LAFC come forward again. This is Atuesta, and this is Diego Rossi! Bond once again with a stop. Cifuentes. This is Rodriguez. And still going the Uruguayan. And still going. Rodriguez! What a goal! Sensational!
Brilliant goal. Threats to shoot with his right foot, then his left, back onto his left again. You won't see a better dribbling goal than that. And a finish to match.
Vasquez towards Araujo. And still going. Cabral just couldn't take it in his stride. Araujo. Joveljic. Really good hit! Really good goal! 2 for Joveljic, 2 for the Galaxy. And we're all square in El Trafico. You can't split these two.
There's a little reverse pass, good run, and then there's the power. That's a top-class finish. What a game we've got on here.
Palacios lines up the hit. Bond with a save. Oh, and it's Rodriguez again. The goals continue to flow in this most extraordinary fixture.
It's a decent strike. I think the goalkeeper has to do a lot better there. He pushes it back out into a dangerous position. And that man Rodriguez is there again with a simple finish.
Alvarez away from Rodriguez. It's a good spot and a terrific ball and a great touch as Grancia comes forward. Jovalic is on a hat-trick. Alvarez inside the fullback for Araujo to pull it back. Big chance here, taking Cabral! 3-3! Unbelievable. Greg Van Iside are back on terms here.
Alvarez plays a lovely ball and the pick out is absolutely perfect. And Cabral in the right spot. And I think it's fair to say this has been a top quality game here.
It has finished LAFC 3, LA Galaxy 3.
I really feel for the guys tonight. That's a tough game to tie. Feels like a loss. But it's also especially tough because I thought there were a lot of positives, but you can't call it a step forward where at the end of a game like that, you don't win.
Western Conference table toppers Seattle faced their Cascadia rivals Portland again, only 2 weeks after beating them 6-2 at Providence Park. From the moment Dairon Asprilla rattled the woodwork for the Timbers, this was destined to be a rather different encounter. In one sense, that effort set the tone for the contest. João Paulo the next to test that crossbar via Steve Clark's fingertips. Portland riding their luck there and then seizing their chance. A sloppy Sounders back pass pounced upon by Felipe Mora. And on only his second start since a serious injury on this pitch almost a year ago, Sebastian Blanco couldn't miss. After 3 successive away victories, Seattle were losing at home. Shane O'Neill's attempt to change that followed a familiar pattern. Portland's recently leaky defence was living a charmed life. This isn't a replay.
Christian Roldan! Third time Seattle have struck the frame.
In stoppage time, Roldan rose again. The post just grazed this time, but the Sounders must have known the game was up. A few minutes later, it was. More shaky defending allowed Mora to complete the upset.
And Mora, goalkeeper off his line! Portland's night!
The Timbers now 6 regular season games unbeaten at Lumen Field.
It was second versus third in the West at Children's Mercy Park, where the visiting Colorado Rapids were looking to overhaul Sporting Kansas City in the standings and went in front 17 minutes in. Jonathan Lewis scoring at the second attempt for his second goal in 3 games. Johnny Russell led SKC search for the equaliser before the break. Their Scottish skipper first hitting the bar with a header, then squaring it up in style.
It's Russell! There's only one! Johnny Russell!
That's how it stayed heading towards the closing quarter when both sides had chances to win it. Mark Anthony Kaye rattled the post for the Rapids as he attempted to add to his first goal in Colorado colours, scored against RSL the previous week. At the other end, Gadi Kinder and Alan Pulido combined to present Russell with the opportunity to complete the turnaround.
Johnny Russell! Did it cross the line?
It didn't, courtesy of Austin Trusty's crucial clearance. And this match remained in the balance all the way to the end, when Michael Barrios broke away to tee up Cole Bassett for Colorado. But he could only blaze against the bar, ensuring both sides stretched unbeaten league runs to 6 games.
Having drawn with SKC themselves a week ago, Minnesota United travelled to Texas with high hopes. Houston were the only team they'd beaten in their previous 6 games, but that optimism seemed premature inside a minute, and Alberto Carrasquilla giving the Dynamo the lead. Perhaps that goal came a little too early for a side who hadn't won since the end of May, a run of form that might be partly explained by their defending at set pieces. Rather too easy for French striker Adrien Unu to score for the first time in 10 matches. Fafa Pico's recent strike rate was rather more impressive. A run of 4 goals in 5 games made him Houston's best hope, but only if his luck improved. The Dynamo's assistant coach Omid Namazi was standing in for Tab Ramos, missing for family reasons. But the home bench had that familiar feeling when Ethan Finley teed up Unu again. The Loons' first ever win in Houston. It's now 15 games without success and counting for the Dynamo.
Staying in the Lone Star State, it was another Texan derby away day for FC Dallas, who had drawn in Houston the previous week. And they were gifted an early goal in this one by Austin's casual attempts to keep the ball at the back. Ricardo Pepi applied the pressure, and Jesus Ferreira the finish. Julio Cascante had been partly culpable in that concession, but undid the damage when finding space in the Dallas box to head the equaliser 8 minutes later. The centre-back's first Austin goal. It had been quite a week already for Pepi, scoring the winning penalty in a shootout for the MLS All-Stars, and then being called up by the US national team for World Cup qualifying. It continued with this emphatic finish from the teenager. No sooner had the Dallas lead been restored than it was extended just 2 minutes later, as their academy products continued to hit the headlines.
Slammed home by Ferreira. It is the homegrown show.
And so it went on, not to be outdone. Another one for Pepi soon followed. A third Dallas goal in the space of 4 minutes made it 4-1 before the break. The interval offered little respite for Austin. Ada Obrian getting in on the act this time with the visitors' fifth. And a fourth defeat in 5 for the expansion side was almost assured already. The consolation for coach Josh Wolf would be in how the home team refused to let heads drop, and a well-worked move led to Diego Fagundes, pulling one back before the hour. Less than 10 minutes later, they had another, with a quarter of the game still to go. Alex Ring heading in his second goal in 3 matches. It really would have been a nervy finish for Dallas had Felipe not thwarted Fagundes' header from a free kick. The action continued all the way into added time.
And now is it a hat trick for Ferreira? He's denied by the post.
The victory was Dallas's first since beating Austin at home 3 weeks earlier.
It had been a week of upheaval for both these clubs, and they served up a suitably chaotic encounter. RSL defender Justin Glad almost gifted the Whitecaps the lead, which would have been the perfect start for their interim coach Vanni Sartini. He'd stepped up to replace Marc Dos Santos just 2 days before, and when Marcelo Silva did steer the ball into his own net, Sartini had his first goal in charge. The visitors' luck was out at the other end of the pitch too.
Powder now has a goal. Off the bar, on the rebound, Miram over the goal.
Frustration for the other temporary coach on show. Freddy Juarez had left Real Salt Lake days before, and Pablo Mastroni's hopes of replacing him full-time weren't helped by Andrew Putner's blunder, seized upon by Brian White. After that, Sartini's winning start was rarely in doubt, and Vancouver's lead soon grew. Jermaine Brown's cross just right for Ryan Gold. They'd borrowed RSL's Rio Tinto Stadium earlier in the season, but this was an unfriendly welcome to their old landlords. Florian Ljungvert met Gold's corner for 4-0. The Whitecaps' third straight win and 9th game unbeaten, and they almost added another goal at the wrong end. Patrick Metcalf's deflection finished by Anderson Julio. Some consolation for Salt Lake's caretaker, but their playoff spot is under threat. To the Eastern Conference and Lower.com Field's first taste of the hell is real derby. Host Columbus had lost their previous 6 games in a title defence in danger of slipping away, while FC Cincinnati were 10 without a win. Phil Blacker, watch this one.
Derek Etienne on the move here, and Hagland has missed it. It does reach Derek Etienne Jr. Luis Diaz! Well, surely Phil should have scored. Still the danger maybe, Zellerajan. Twisting and turning, and delicately dinked. That's unlucky. Equally as close from Zellerajan. The big chance here, though, was for the wide-open Luis Diaz, who couldn't quite steer it in. That was brilliantly done. Mensah just guide it back to Aloy Rome, looking for Wormhurt under pressure from Brenner. And the Brazilian will get it back in space and didn't quite have his angles right. Big chance for FCC. A lot of it really was Columbus's own making. Zellerajan standing over it. And certainly wouldn't want anybody else in this situation. The free kick specialist this season. It is another picture-perfect finish into the top corner. And it's the lead for the Crew, thanks to Lucas Zellerajan. 7th goal of the season, and 5 of them now have come from direct free kicks. He's just one short of Javinko's MLS seasonal record. Trademark finish, and it's becoming a trademark celebration at Lower.com Field. Comes all the way through as far as Ronald Matarrita with time to take a touch and then thump it back in emphatically for the equalising goal. The Crew's lead did not last long. Ronald Matarrita scores for Cincinnati for the first time and does so in some style. Luciano Acosta turning into space with room to work and finding Isaac Atanga. Atanga will go for goal and will score to turn it around for Cincinnati. He's been on the pitch for a shade under 10 minutes. And Isaac Atanga has picked some time to score for the first time in Major League Soccer. The Crew staring at a 7th straight defeat now. Pedro Santos in space with the room to advance and to strike it. Vermeer can't hold it, and Miguel Berry is there, and he buries it to level it up at 2-2. Only his 2nd ever MLS goal, and they have both been equalisers in the Hell-Israel derby. Vermeer disappointed to spill it at the feet of the substitute. And we are all square again. Towards Alexandru Maton, the Romanian will get to it just ahead of Haglund here. Maton, Vermeer again, he can't hold it, and again Berry is there. It's in off the centre forward, and Columbus have turned it around now in the most dramatic of circumstances. It's 2 in as many minutes for Miguel Berry. It's the Columbus Crew 3, Cincinnati 2.
The New England Revolution began the weekend on a 9-game unbeaten run that had taken them 15 points clear at the top of the East. They led 3-0 inside half an hour in their last game, but NYCFC found a way to stall the Revs, score first. At least Tati Castellanos thought he had, until he saw the assistant's flag. Another look revealed that the striker's celebrations weren't premature. Just onside, his 9th goal of the campaign, and Ronnie Dyler's side had the lead. New England's hot streak was over when the hosts sealed a 7th straight home win. No doubt about this one.
Tati Castellanos! Oh, meets it with authority, number 10 on the season, and New York City leads 2-0.
Second-placed Orlando had been held to a 1-1 draw when Inter Miami last ventured to Exploria Stadium at the beginning of the month, and were handed an early opportunity to take charge as their Floridian rivals returned on Friday night. Chris Mueller's cross hit Nico Figal on the arm, and referee Ismail Elfaf said penalty, a shade over 10 minutes into the match. With regular taker Nani left on the bench, Tesho Akindele stepped up to take responsibility from the spot, but put his kick too close to Nick Marsman. Opposing goalkeeper Pedro Gallese was rather more extended as Miami almost made the most of their reprieve midway through the first half. A brilliant reaction save kept out Rodolfo Pizarro's effort. One MLS All-Star denied by another. Phil Neville's side was searching for 3 straight wins for the first time in their MLS history, but seemed to have fallen behind moments later when a shot from Swedish centre-back Robin Jansson flew in. Only for the effort to be disallowed on video review, with Akindele adjudged to have got a touch to it from an offside position. Heading for a 4th draw in 5 in the league, Orlando's frustration continued into the second half, with Marsman earning his first MLS clean sheet, keeping out Antonio Carlos's header, before Chris Mueller's effort was blocked on the line. And August ended how it started for these two sides, with a spoil shared in the Sunshine State.
After 3 defeats in a week, this wasn't the fixture DC United would have chosen. They hadn't beaten the Union in 10 meetings and had lost 9 of them. With that record, Steve Birnbaum's first half own goal wasn't a surprise, except perhaps to him. But the Black and Red refused to accept that history would repeat itself. although they had to find a way past Andre Blake. Jordi Reyna spectacularly denied by the all-star goalkeeper. But a few minutes later, DC's pressure paid off. They couldn't penetrate a frantic Philadelphia defence, but Alvas Pau's challenge on Reyna prompted more than a few glances at the referee. While coach Hernan Losada bemoaned his team's luck, a video review confirmed everyone's suspicion. Reyna had just got there first and the home side had a penalty. Ola Kamara accepted the chance his team deserved for his 12th goal of the season. And once they were level, United shook off their fear of these opponents. Soon after the break, Julian Gressel's cross found Kamara, and this time Blake's brilliance wasn't enough as Reyna continued his man-of-the-match display. Philadelphia had equalised late in their last game against Montreal, but not this time. In the 95th minute, Ramon Abelar decided against running down the clock and instead gave a convincing look to DC United's first MLS win over the Union since 2017.
A run of 4 straight wins had seen Atlanta United close in on the Eastern Conference playoff places before the visit of Nashville. The Five Stripes were initially awarded a penalty in just the 7th minute of Gonzalo Pineda's first match in charge for Alistair Johnston's challenge on George Bello, which video review then deemed to have occurred just outside the area. Instead, it was the team from Tennessee who took the lead in first half added time. Daniel Rios was Nashville's joint top scorer in their expansion season last year and marked his first start of this one with the first goal of 2021 for the Mexican. That's how it stayed going into second half added time, when Joseph Martinez was a fraction away from levelling the scores. Frustration followed in a rip-roaring conclusion to the contest. Pineda's side had been pushing everyone up at the end, including the goalkeeper.
Guzan come forward, and now Leal trying to put the finishing touch, and he has done!
Lando Leal scored the second in the final seconds, and Nashville win away for the first time this season.
When CF Montreal last hosted Canadian rivals Toronto FC, it was in Miami on the opening weekend of the season. Montreal won the game 4-2, and the visitors' prospects of revenge suffered a very early setback. Noble Okello's challenge on Victor Wanyama drew a yellow card from referee Drew Fisher, and a video review brought an immediate upgrade on that decision. 85 minutes with 10 men offered Javier Perez's side little hope of snapping a 6-game winless streak. Sure enough, they soon trailed. Georgi Mihailovic's free kick well saved by Quentin Westberg, only for Samuel Piette to pounce. His first goal of the season enthusiastically celebrated. That round 1 defeat in Florida had set the tone for Toronto's miserable season, with just 3 victories so far, which made this a surprise. Ifeanyi Achara finding Jefferson Soteldo, who returned the compliment for an impressive equaliser, perhaps motivated by frustration. That raised the prospect of a first point for Toronto since Perez became full-time coach, but not for long. Zachary Broguiar picking out Joaquin Torres, who was equally accurate. And any suggestion that Wilfried Nancy's team lack a killer instinct was dealt with just a few minutes later, as they wrapped up their 8th MLS win of the campaign.
Kyoto! He's back, and surely now seals the win.
To our final game at Red Bull Arena, where Chicago were out to move above their opponents in the table. With just over half an hour played, Robert Beric put the fire in front. The Slovenian's effort was initially ruled out for offside. The referee Victor Rivas took another look, and after spotting how the ball deflected into Beric's path off the defenders, he gave the goal. Just a third of the striker's season. It proved enough to secure Chicago's first away win in MLS in 20 trips since their final match of the 2019 season. Alvaro Madran came closest to adding a second late on, but the Red Bulls slipped instead to their 9th 1-goal defeat of the year.
That win for Chicago lifts them into 10th and ahead of the New York Red Bulls in the East. Above the playoff line, Philadelphia dropped 2 places to 5th, with Nashville and NYCFC leapfrogging them into 3rd and 4th, respectively.
In the West, Seattle's lead over SKC has been reduced to 2 points, but the top 5 are as you were, with Portland moving up to 6th after their derby win. And it's with the best of an extraordinary end to rivalry week that we leave you.
Copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.